Hey folks, welcome back to the Product Pivot. I'm Santi, and I'm here with my incredible co-host Meagan. Little recap on what this podcast is. It's where we share real stories from folks that have pivoted into product management, talk about product management, and demystify this a little bit more. So today we are very excited. I'm personally very excited. My amazing friend and coworker Riëtte on today, and I'm going to flip it over to her so she can give an introduction about herself.
Hello, everyone. So I am Riëtte, Santi's colleague, as you all learned, and very excited to be here with you today. I am currently a senior product manager at a company called Liferaft, where we do threat intelligence. And yeah, I'm sure you'll hear more about me.
So question number one, where's your accent from?
Oh, South Africa, which means it's part British, part Dutch. Yeah.
I know that we didn't agree on that for question number one, but I wanted to know. So I just wanted to make sure that the audience knew, because
It is a very fair ask.
if I wanted to know, I knew others would want to know. But real talk. Okay. So I know that we're really here to talk about product management. So can you share a little bit about your journey into product management?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really fated, I think. I stumbled into product management by accident. So how it started was I started working for a publishing company called Pearson. They're a global, primarily education publisher. And I started there because I found accidentally that I was really good at reviewing manuscripts to make sure that they adhered to curriculum requirements. And I had a special skill at interpreting very weird and complicated requirements from our curriculum department sometimes. So I got into educational publishing. I had no idea that a publisher was a thing when I became a publisher, and I had less of an idea that product manager was a thing. But as I became a publisher, I had a phenomenal manager. Karen Simpson is someone I often think about still, because she really pushed us to grow. So through her leadership and mentorship, I got exposed to things like Scrum methodology and lean coaching and agile methodology, all of that jazz, and really learned product management skills and did the product management job without ever uttering the words product management, because we called ourselves publishers. But yeah, that's really what I did. And then my particular sort of section that I was working in, I mean, it changed over time. But the last scene I was in was I was developing a reading scheme for a national reading scheme for South Africa for early education, and clearly it's early reading. And I started really seeing how using digital educational tools could really benefit our learners. And software development was just also where things were going. So I was very much in the transition going from print to digital in publishing, which was very big 10 years ago. Now it sounds like dinosaur stuff, but at that time it was very big. And anyway, there wasn't a lot of tech stuff in publishing at that time that I could get my hands on. So as I moved to Canada, I was looking for jobs to stay in the role I was in, doing the kind of job I was doing, but expanding more, like branching more into the technical world and technology. And that's how I discovered I was actually a product manager. And that's how I then got into mobile gaming. So very long answer as to how I landed where I am.
I always like that answer though, because you have such a crazy way that you got into product management and really didn't know you were doing product management for a while until you finally clicked. And I know our next question was basically to be like, what drew you into that? But it seems just from your experiences, you were really interested in the tech space. You were really interested in digging into that more. You wanted to lean into the digital transformation that was happening in the work that you were doing, which is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I realized, what drew me first was I guess the thrill of there's a big part of product management that is about being able to take often very contradictory, noisy, nuanced requirements and distilling it into strategy. that, I would say, if you ask me what drew me in, the thrill of that, of coming up with a coherent strategy that speaks to the market, that sells, is what drew me first. As I've gotten older and more into product management across different industries, I think what's really drawing me now is being able to solve problems for users, real problems. That's really what gets me out of bed in the morning. And yes, I love technology and I love working with AI and all of these things to help solve those problems, but that's the root of it.
Oh, you're a true PM. You solve problems for customers and make it make sense for the business. That's 100% it. You nailed it.
I was agreeing because I feel like that's the mix that we kind of run into in the product space. It's like, are you solving real user problems or are you not?
Often we're not.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very often we're not. And I think that for me is more and more what my focus is are we actually solving something that is a real problem and that is interesting for customers, instead of are we creating a gimmick that we can slap an AI label on and call a name and sell.
Speaking of, Riëtte has been doing a lot of really amazing AI things. I had the pleasure of getting to work with her to bring one of our bigger AI initiatives to market last year. And I want to ask you, Riëtte, about this. So, like, you've been so deep in this work lately, like, what's been the biggest wow, this is way different, or this is definitely new? Like, what moment have you had as a PM working with AI products like this that's made it so different from like the traditional stuff?
Yeah, a few things. So I'll start with the generic one. AI brings in, it actually changes, and I'm still learning, so I'm not going to pretend I know all the answers, but it really adds stuff to your roadmap and your schedule, your maintenance schedule. You have to take into account, you can't just build an AI feature and say it's done. I mean, every feature has to be maintained, right, in software or in anything really. But with AI, there's the additional nuance of, okay, let's say use OpenAI, they update to a new model, ChatGPT 5, then ChatGPT 5.1. Every time they do that, things significantly change. And anything that you have, all of your foundational kind of principles need to be checked again. So that is a big thing that I've had to learn. Another big thing is just, it's actually really exciting. So in the space that we work in, and this is a little bit nerding out, but we collect data that our customers search against for information that is relevant to them. And traditionally, pre-AI, pre-language models, really, we were all extremely dependent on exact matching and very complicated and elaborate rules. And I loved making those rules. You know, they were very interesting to try and concoct, but they're very, very elaborate rules for if this, then that, then this. There's just so much to try and capture the right content, you know. With language models, so much of the way that we thought about how to get to solving a problem has changed. Things are so much, I don't want to say easier because they're different. So a part of it is easier and another part of it is harder. The easier part is things like, I don't have to any longer worry about misspelling because language models don't care. You know, they can understand that this is what I'm talking about. They're not looking at the exact characters. So that opens up the world for you. The other thing is just, you know, in terms of what we can offer our customers, we can just make our customers, if we do it properly, there's a big caveat there, but if we do things properly, we can really use AI to take away redundancy and slog work from our customers. If we don't use it properly, we add that. So those are the
100%.
things I've noticed.
100%. And that, I have a lot of thoughts on this. I'm just like,
That has a lot to do with what we talked about on the podcast before, though,
Yep.
right? Like that AI really should be used to use boring tasks. It should be used
Yes.
to reduce redundancy.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
more of that you can do, the more you're really serving your customers because nobody wants to do that stuff anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you try to get too fancy, not that you shouldn't be ambitious, but certainly in our industry, if you try and get too fancy, you often find you are overcomplicating things so much that you're actually making things less efficient and less effective for customers, not more. So AI is definitely, it is a space I'm deeply interested in. It's all over my resume on LinkedIn. You know, I'm clearly very, very interested in AI, but I'm also very wary about how we're using it, and in terms of both being smart about it, but also ethical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, ethical AI is a big thing. Very passionate about that as well. Speaking of, where you touched on how you can make things more complicated with AI,
Mm.
how do you, as a PM that's been working with AI for quite some time now and like really in the depths of it, how do you not do that? What are some things that you do to help not complicate whatever you're building on with AI and keep that core user in mind and in focus?
Encourage my teammates to stop having shower ideas and listen to customers. um, um, I laugh, but that really is, I think, the starting point. If you want to simplify, you have to start with putting yourself in the shoes of your customer. What is it that they're actually doing that you're trying to simplify? If you do what many of us do, I have myself been guilty of this in my many paths down the solutioning abyss. If you just think, oh, this is amazing technology, and you can do this, and you can do this, and you can do it, that's great. It sells very well on paper. Customers are extremely excited about it. Then it gets into your platform and they don't use it. So I don't think I have like a an award-winning answer here. Otherwise, I'd be much richer. But from my personal experience, all I can say is you have to keep going back to what is the problem you're solving, and not just what's the problem, but who are you solving it for? What is the workflow? What is the day-to-day scenario? Where is the customer at when they're doing this thing, when they're experiencing this pain point or going through this workflow? If you don't understand that, you cannot really simplify it for them. So yeah, that is my answer so far. I haven't come up with anything better.
I think, Meg, I think though you'd agree with this. That's what we've been hearing consistently, right? Like when it comes to AI and product management, there are still foundational PM things that you just need to do. It doesn't matter if you're working with an AI product or not. You need to understand what problem you're solving, why you're solving it, who you're solving it for,
Yeah.
and what kind of outcome you're looking for. Meg, I'll let you
Yeah.
chime in on that, but I think that was bang on, Riëtte.
Yeah, I mean, exact same thing that we've heard over and over again because I think people get too obsessed with like the lengths that you can go with AI and how
Yes.
quickly you can go
Yes.
there. And
Yes.
so I think that that's they see the long term instead of just taking the steps that you need to take to get there. And just like you said, foundational things that you should be doing as a PM, which generally will cut your scope, which Santi loves, will generally cut your scope and slow you down, but also get you the outcomes that you're looking for. Because, like you said, Riëtte, your users will use it at the end of the day.
Yeah, because it's a huge risk, and I've seen it a couple of times happening now. Because AI is new, because there is actually push, our customers are getting pushed by their boards, by their investors to use AI, right? So they're going to do some initial spending for AI and they're going to show some initial excitement. But if your AI is just gimmicky at the end of the day, or your solution is not actually a solution, that early excitement, those leading indicators that you saw, are all going to fall flat, and you're not actually going to get the return on investment or revenue from it.
For sure.
Absolutely. Hey everyone, it's Santi popping in real quick to talk about Prodfolio. As we know, storytelling is a massive part of product management, but sometimes we struggle to tell our own. Meg and I are no exception, and after having many conversations with other product people, we noticed a trend. Lots of other PMs struggle to tell their story too. So, like this podcast, Meg and I set off to help close this gap we were seeing, which is where Prodfolio comes in. Prodfolio is a portfolio building tool that helps product managers tell their story in a way that hiring managers are actually interested in seeing, all in a fraction of the time as other methods. Show your work, own your impact. Link in the description.
When you're moving 100 miles an hour, how do you pull things back? I feel like we were kind of talking about that there, but unsure if you have more that you want to expand on.
I can give a personal example of this, actually. When I'm moving at 100 miles per hour, which is often because it's in my personality, I tend to, and Santi can attest for this, I tend to get stuck in my ways because I'm moving at 100 kilometers per hour because I don't have time to now, do new yoga routines here. I need to just power through. And it is really important to have colleagues that stop you, like Santi, but also to stop yourself. Take a stand back and ask yourself very critically, how can I use AI to make myself more effective? Is what I'm motoring through or towards at 100 kilometers per hour or miles per hour actually the best thing? Is this the thing we should be focusing on? Is this the best or most effective or most efficient way I can be doing it? Often when I pull myself back like that, the answers are no, sadly.
Yeah, for sure.
So the lesson I've learned is to do that much more. Yeah, and to actually the lesson I've learned, and Santi has been a phenomenal part of this, is to the moment I am going 100 kilometers per hour, ask myself some serious questions, because that means I'm in automatic mode. That means I'm just going on, old biases, old ways of doing things. A lot of them are tried and tested, so I'm going to have success. And some of them are just, they're my defaults. They're my default ways of doing things, and there are now better ways of doing things. For example, could I actually be giving ChatGPT this thing to do for me in the meantime?
Yep.
And I have to also be honest here. This isn't quite what you asked, but I'll spill the beans in any case. I was quite resistant because so I'm both a big picture and a detail person, and I get extremely irritated when things become superficial because people don't understand the detail. So naturally, I had a little bit of an allergy towards ChatGPT and AI because of this, which is total contradiction to the fact that I love AI and learning about AI and using AI for solutions. I did have this little bit of a weird allergy in my own usage of AI. And I have had to challenge myself a little bit on that because there is a way one can use AI critically and smartly.
A lot of people that I've talked to were just like super hesitant to use it at the
Yes,
beginning. A lot of
yes,
people. But I
yeah.
feel like that's like dwindled down a little bit almost as the ideology has come in that if you don't use it, you're an outlier, right?
I think so. I think what I've come to learn and what I would encourage everyone to learn, and I think I'm going ahead now, is that we can't afford not to. AI is here to stay. And if you are not leveraging AI and you're not learning how to use it for yourself to improve yourself, but also how your customers are using it, what are they using it for? What could they be using it for? You are going to fall behind. I think that's what I've come to terms with.
Santi, I have one thing that's like critical based on what she just said that just popped into my mind. One thing I read recently, which I thought was just like so eye-opening, was that we need to get our apps ready for like AI agents
Yep.
because at one point AI agents are going to be what's primarily using applications and not humans.
That is such a good point. I actually haven't thought about that until you've said that now.
Isn't
But
that
that is
crazy?
a really good
That's
point.
crazy.
Instead of building apps for humans, we need to be building like agentic, like ready
Friendly.
apps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes so
exactly.
much sense.
Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow. Yeah.
Ooh.
And that's exactly it. Like this is the, even if you don't, which is not recommended, but even if you're now using AI to help you, you have to keep up with how other people are using AI if you're in the product management space.
Exactly. I thought
Yeah.
that was crazy when I read it, and I was like, who teaches you how to do that?
This is
Where is that? Because I want to know. And like, what is it? How you write a button? Is it like back end code that you don't even see on the front end? Like, how do you communicate with that AI agent so it can use your app? I was so blown away by that, and I was super curious for our own personal app, Santi, but also
Yeah.
for the companies that I contract with, because the types of linear flows that are built into apps make sense for an AI agent. But also, like, how does it know what to do? And I don't know. I guess like that when I read that, it like blew me away, and I was wondering who's going to teach us how to do that.
if anyone knows, drop it in the comments.
I
Please.
like,
Drop
maybe
it.
by the time this goes out, like it'll be live.
Yeah. Little
Because it
tips,
moves so
people.
quick. It moves so quick. But I
Yeah.
did just, who's going to teach us how to do that? Because it's just like, I don't think the people that would teach us, I don't even think they know. And I think
Yeah.
that that's crazy.
This is an interesting thing to be in right now because when we think about building technology and like how product management would have been done even just like 5 years ago, and now we're looking at it now, it's like a lot of us literally are learning by the seat of our pants here. Like we are
Yes.
just
Yep.
all of us. It's like it's almost like it's almost kind of nice. It's almost like a little community vibe where it's like, hey, we're all in this together. None of us know what we're doing,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
is. It's an interesting thing to consider how the technology is changing in such a way that we need to adapt, but we don't have a playbook here. That's essentially product management and how it started, to be
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
But now we're into that next age, like that digital transformation of technology. It's insane.
I find it very exciting. And I think that is part of what has kept me in product management as well, because I am a little bit of a genericist. Is that a word? I've just made it if it isn't. Um, I need to constantly learn new things. I need to challenge myself. And this job, this role of product management is just perfect for that because it's never, ever the same. You know, in my case, I've been in many different industries, but even if you're in the same industry, no two companies are the same.
Yeah. That's so true.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And then as you're talking now, like the market is completely changing all the
Yeah,
time. So,
It's hard to
100%.
keep up with. Like, I love it, but it's also hard to keep up with. Because,
Yeah,
like Sandy
yeah.
said, there's no playbook.
Yeah.
no playbook. We are just out here winging it.
Yeah.
It's,
Let that be encouragement to the next generation.
We're writing our own rules.
yeah, I know. I know we had one other question for you. So it's actually so relevant to this conversation because it said for PMs trying to keep up with the change, especially for how AI is shaping the role, what's one thing you tell them to focus on learning for what they're doing right now?
It's really two things. Um, and it goes back to our customer. I'm sorry, I'm really boring like this.
No, no, this is good. This is good.
Don't be scared of it, you know, is my first thing. But you, yeah, learn to use AI in the way that your customers will use it if you're a product manager. I think that is critical. Yes, you should use AI to improve yourself and make yourself more effective and faster and all of that stuff in your own job. We all know that. But I think what is much more important is really live the experience of your customer, whatever your customer looks like. Think about and actually use AI the way they would use AI, because there are some really stupid mistakes that can really be prevented by just putting yourselves in the shoes of your customer. And yeah, that's really what I would tell them.
Because you work at the same company, and I don't know if you're allowed to disclose this, I feel like you would be. How do your customers use AI?
Yeah, it's our customers are very, very interesting because they are some of the customers who would naturally be extremely wary of customers. Our customers are analysts and investigators. They are people who have to verify and contextualize and validate, the credibility of data sources and all of that. So AI was and is quite scary for them. I think just like in any other industry, there is a fear that AI is going to come for my job, which I can say hands down is not the case, and we're not coming after the analyst's job with AI or the investigators, and we don't want to. But the other thing is just, can I trust it? How can I trust it, and how do we, especially in this world that we're in, where our analysts and our customers really have to always validate this against the original sources, how do we make sure whatever we implement in AI is not just duplicating their work? It's not just giving them another source of information. They've already got an overwhelming number of sources of information. AI could now just be adding to that. So initially they were very, very, very wary. Now, as you'll see in most industries, there is definitely a push for, we need to be faster, we need to be more effective, we need to, get to our bottom line faster. So there's definitely a push for AI in our industry now. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, because I can already see our industry in particular is a space where if it's going to be gimmicky, it's not going to work. If it's going to actually solve their problem and make them faster and more effective while being reliable, trustworthy, and all that stuff, then it will work.
Yeah. For us, it's really about empowering them. That's the main thing. It can't add to their workload. They need to have a trusted tool that empowers them.
Yeah.
And I'd say that for almost any user, really, right? That everyone wants that, but it's especially true in certain industries like ours.
Yeah. And it's fundamentally difficult because customers want transparency. Language models and AI are inherently black boxes.
Yeah.
I can't tell you why AI made the decision it made. How did it come to the conclusion it came? Back in the pre AI world, we could say, well, we followed this long path of rules, and it met all of these 50 gazillion criteria, and that's why this conclusion was drawn. And that's why your keyword matched, or that's why you got this thing. But now with AI, it's a black box. So we're still learning to navigate that with our customers.
Yeah. That's really interesting and relatable. I mean, even sometimes, Santi and I joke about this all the time when we're using, I don't know, like Anthropic or OpenAI or whatever. We'll joke about this all the time. It's like, where did you get this information? Like, what are you telling me right now? And it's like, I think we made a joke last week about how we'll put like words in caps to yell at it if it's wrong. And I think it was Anthro. So it was Claude specifically responded to me with like a 1-word answer after I did that. And I'm like, I pissed off the AI. Like,
It was so
I'm so curious, like how it's programmed to respond to my tone. And like, I'll never know that, but I'm curious. Like I'm mad. So you're just like, okay.
I've had full-blown arguments with it when it's stupid and it doesn't, like, it makes stuff up. I'm just like, I'm sorry, but why are you doing this? And I speak to it like I would speak to a partner.
Yeah.
And we've had some full-blown arguments and quiet time as well, where I'm just like, I can't talk to you for a while.
You're in timeout. But that goes back to the job replacement thing, right? And I was talking to someone else about this week. Like, it's not coming for our jobs. It's too stupid. Like, it's too stupid. We think it's super smart because it can do things quickly, But it's not. It's not. It can't solve complex problems. Can't do complex math problems. It can't do complex, like, even it hallucinates when you're asking it, like, is it Sunday? It's like, no, it's Saturday. Like, it can't even tell you what date it is.
The way that it does math, actually, I have to stop and pray sometimes. It gets me so good. I'm like, oh my, Meg and I.
Oh my God. Don't tell us. Oh my God. We learned very, very quickly during our product launch that product managers are not good at math, and neither is AI.
And neither say, oh dear. Oh, this is not good.
It was our backup partner because we're not good at math, and neither is AI. I just want you to know. We needed a good old calculator.
Yep. Mathematicians, y'all are safe. Y'all are
Y'all are safe.
real
real
be
safe.
fine.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I know we're coming up to the hour here, and I have one more question that's not on your sheet. You're gonna love this question too.
No worries.
But before I ask it, I wanted to give you, Riëtte, just the floor. If there's anything that you would want to share, or just like anything you'd leave for listeners, anything like that, open floor for you.
No, I think I've already rambled all of the things that I wanted to get in. So yeah, we're good.
All right. All right, Meg, anything from your end before I drop this little boop right on it? All right.
Nope.
So, Riëtte.
I like the shoulder roll that comes with it.
Spicy. What is your biggest red flag as a product manager? Like, you as a product manager, what's your own biggest red flag?
Oh, there's so many.
There's not that many.
She's the first one to admit that she has some. Everybody else is like, oh, I gotta dig deep for this one. So thanks for being humble, Riëtte.
Shout out, Riëtte.
Well, I've already told you one. And that is when I am going 100 kilometers per hour. Red flag for me. I'm in automaton mode. Things are not good. Another big red flag for me, and actually this is another thing I've learned from Santi. Santi is like a great mentor for me, is I have spent some time just drilling down way too far into the weeds. Like, it's actually embarrassing to say. Like early days of the project, like really like drilling down into like a milestone 7.5, like 7.5.3, we're going to be doing this feature. And no, that is not how you plan projects. Never, ever, ever. You don't even get past milestone 1. It is a complete waste of time.
She saw me do this in real time with privacy and terms and conditions. That's my one kryptonite to this.
I was like verbally assaulting her, like, do we really need this? Are you sure? Like, are we okay? Is this launch critical? Oh my gosh.
That's my one kryptonite, people.
Yeah. When you're planning like that, you're in a cloud. You're not in reality anymore. You got to check yourself.
Yeah.
And like
that's hard too.
Yeah, it is. It's hard.
It's expected. It's actually sometimes demanded by leadership or by people who need info or think they need certain info for marketing. But we've just got to. I've got to get smarter about that. We've got to be more high level. We've got to see ourselves going into those weeds, because we're spinning our wheels and we're spinning everyone else's wheels. And that leads to a world of, I'm spending my life redrawing a Gantt chart. I'm not actually doing product management work. I'm not speaking to customers. I'm not listening to problems. I'm not understanding what is strategically the biggest impact, most impactful things I should be focusing on the market. No. I'm in the weeds going, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that, and then we're going to do, and then no, I'm going to swap this, we're going to do this, and then no.
And then there's edge cases.
Stop yourself right there.
Yep. Stop, because then you get into edge case conversations. Those take every ounce of energy out of you. The brain gets fogged. It's a whole thing. We're all going to do it from time to time. Let me just be very clear to anyone listening. You are going to do this.
Oh, yeah.
But the sooner, like the habit that I was able to kind of establish over my career, which is kind of one of my personal benchmarks for how I've improved as a PM, is I'm able to catch it when I'm starting to do it and be like, okay, nope, suck myself out of there for a second.
Yes, yes.
Pause. Let's revisit. So everything you said was bang on, Riëtte. Like, just so good.
Totally. I think that it's hard, especially when you're excited about a project. You're excited
Yeah,
about what it could be.
absolutely. And sometimes you want to prove yourself. You might have a new manager and you want to show them that you're thinking through everything, and you're getting targeted questions and all of that. But yeah.
And also just like a kind of a side tangent on that too. I think that product managers, like, we're almost expected to be like a leader in ourselves, even when we do have those direct managers. Yes. And so we don't have anyone to check ourselves or check us sometimes. And so we're supposed to check ourselves. And so that can be really, really hard because we're doing the high level, but then when we do get in the weeds, it's like no one's there to like say, hey, you're in the weeds. So you got to do that yourself. So I think there's a lot of components there. So it's a good call out.
Yeah. And actually, sorry, that does lead me to one other life lesson that I've learned that's actually particularly important to me right now. And that is that as product managers, it's so easy for us to fall into the trap of we need to know everything because we're always the one that gets asked for various reasons. So we start expecting of ourselves that we need to know everything and being able to answer, and we start feeling incompetent if we can't. But we have to take a step back and realize that that is not our job. It is not our job to understand every edge case in our platform. It is not our job to understand every little nuance of this little thing. It is our job to deeply understand our market and our customers and their workflows and who we're building towards. So yeah, but I think we very, very often develop this imposter syndrome because we think we have to have the answers for everything. And more I'm challenging myself to check myself on that. And, and often, sometimes you just want to shine. Like I suffer from that. Like, I just want to look good, right? I just want to be appreciated and acknowledged to like, I know this. And I am consciously actually stopping myself of late and going, no, I don't need to know this. I don't need to be the hero. I need to do my job effectively.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my last little tidbit.
I love it. That, and just for anyone listening, that will burn you out. That crushed me in my early PM days. I tried so hard to know everything. And it comes back not even just in your day job. So as folks know, Megan and I have Portfolio. We love it. I've noticed, though, that some of those little habits we can develop trying to know everything can creep into other areas of our life. Yes. And I noticed that as I was working on Portfolio with Meg, some of it would bubble up again. And I'd be like, I need to know this. My confidence would be shot if I didn't know it. And so now that we've launched and I'm reflecting on it, I'm like, okay, there are some things I 1000% need to do differently, just for myself as a PM, right? And it's okay to not know everything. It's fine. You will figure it out.
Yeah. Rely on the experts around you.
Exactly, for sure. And just rely on the fact that you can learn it if you have to. Like, sometimes there's always the resources out there other than with AI, because we all know that there's not enough resources out there for learning those things.
Your calculators handy, please. Please. Don't throw them out.
Okay, ladies, I know you've got somewhere you have to be. So I'm going to just let you know that we're at time.
It's been lovely talking to you. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Thank you for coming. This has been fun.
Thanks, everyone, for listening into this episode. We had a blast chatting with Riëtte. We hope you had some amazing insights taken away. Any questions or follow-up, feel free to drop them in the comments, and we will catch you in the next one.